Welcome back, YouTubers, to another topical video, and yes, this will be a very good topical video and a very interesting one with us, the British Fist.
Gotcha.
I am Mr. Parkin, the strong one here, and this guy sitting next to me, he thinks he's Dolph Ziggler, but he's even more of a show-off, and he's even better than Dolph Ziggler. It's none other than Poppin' NJ.
What's up?
Fist pumping, bicep pumping, it doesn't really matter. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on the title up above, down in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the link in the box below.
Yes, and we've been obligated to say that Terminator NJ has a Twitter. He also has a Facebook. You should go check them out in the description box below. Rather interesting to follow. I've been enjoying following Terminator NJ.
He's had a lot to say, and he's gradually getting very popular because of it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's getting popular with the female Terminator NJs, eh? Who really knows? He might not swing that way. We don't really know. But in this video, we're basically gonna keep it simple in this week's video. Basically, the question we want to ask, and we're going to discuss in this video, and we want to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below, is the 3-hour Raw working? Because we're 5 Raws into the 3-hour era now, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm starting to get a little bit worried, and I would like to see if I'm the only one in this whole worried category, and I want you to give us your thoughts in the comment section below. But we're 5 Raws in, and we think we can give a pretty fair analysis on it. We're 5 Raws in, so yeah, I mean, Your initial thoughts?
Well, going into this, because we did do a video comparing this to TNA's live show, and going into this, I was debating, they both had their own creative ideas, which one was going to work, which one weren't going to work, and the 3-hour Raw could have switched over to TNA,
by far.
Or if they were going to do anything, give each an extra half an hour, at least so you split it, or something like that. But coming to this 3-hour Raw, which is this video, going week after week after week, they have done things differently, which will give them thumbs up too. And in some cases, the new ideas have worked. But for a full show, they quickly run out of ideas, and which we're going to cover with what they fit up with in this video.
And we kind of predicted they would run out of ideas pretty damn quickly. I think, to be honest with you, TNA could have done with a 3-hour show and a live show, and they could have done with both, in my opinion. Raw should have just stuck to especially with TNA having only one show a week and WWE having Raw and SmackDown. You think it would have made more sense for TNA to have the 3-hour show than WWE go 3 hours. But one thing we do want to find out at some point is what the freaking hell this is about. Yeah, I know it's upside down, but we're going to find out what this is all about. We're going to try and do some research into this and figure out what this message is all about. I mean, don't know yet. New day, new chapter, 9/16/12. That's the day of Night of Champions. We're gonna have to figure this out at some point, like Lauren and Hardy, pretty much. I don't know.
And when that day comes, we'll be in for a big surprise, wherever it is. Because why would it get involved in our review? Did it be something big?
Exactly. So we will let you know as soon as we know anything more about that. But if you can find out what it is, you let us know, because we really don't know. So yeah, going into the actual topic of this video, you know, I think it's fair to say really that 3 hours, it's a long time to really watch anything, isn't it? It's a long time to watch, say, a movie. It's a long time to watch a drama. It's a long time to, you know, just sit outside and reflect. It's just, 3 hours is a long time. Do you know what I'm saying here? 3 hours is a long time to watch anything, whether it be Raw, TNA, anything, really.
With a 3-hour gap, yes, we do it for pay-per-views, but when you have like a pay-per-view, then the next night is another 3-hour show, It can become a bit overlapping time, especially in the UK where the time zone is pretty unfair to us.
1 till 4:15, including the fucking overrun. God damn that! I mean, trust me, guys, we don't really like get that much sleep, or we stay up late on a regular basis. So you'd think we were used to it. When the show is crap, we fall asleep. We fall asleep, don't we? Pretty much.
And that's the thing, because again, I'm not gonna probably do this in a late video or something, but I'm not saying that the WWE come up with all the great ideas or the worst ideas, because other companies do the same. But with this 3-hour one, it does become, yes, they do add still the good stuff that we pay money to watch, things we want to see. But then when they add in stuff that they think is going to work, or things that will fill up time, it does become boring to see it week after week after week.
And it gets to the point, really, especially I've noticed this in the last couple of weeks, it gets to the point, really, that you can't really get invested in the show because it's going on for so long, and it gets to the point, you get to like the main event, which is supposed to be like the big part of the show, and you've had all this 2.5 hours really sucking the life out of you in some ways, or the 2 hours, 45 minutes, you get to the main event and you're just like, let it be over. That's how it feels to watch a main event on Raw right now. It feels more like just let's get this over with, rather than I'm looking forward to seeing this. Like for example, on the last edition of Raw, I fell asleep during that promo segment between Cena and Punk. Why? Because I was fucking knackered from watching 2 hours 45 minutes of Raw before it.
I'll say this: within the 2.5 hours before the main event, there are stuff in it that is good and interesting. Like we are getting to see somewhat longer matches. We're getting probably a few more backstage segments or promos, which is the thing that we wanted to see happen when they go to 3 hours, just so they're using their time better. But at the same time, as well as giving all these better promos, longer matches in some cases, they're still giving us video packages that take up a good fair few minutes. So it takes away what you've just given us before the video packages.
Basically, they can't fill a 3-hour show. Is basically what you're trying. I mean, they may have some good segments and some good feuds on a 2-hour show. That may be okay, but 3 hours. It's just, if you want to keep the audience's attention, you're going to have to do something a lot better than what they've been doing. And it's mainly down to the writing. But I mean, goddamn, it's just been a right dull fest watching Raw lately. It's just the fact that watching a 2-hour show is fine, but then you watch a 3-hour show. You've got that extra hour there. You've got what seems like a 2-hour show spread, it hasn't been expanded into a 3-hour show. It's been spread from a 2-hour show, and it's still a 2-hour show, but just expanded into a 3-hour show. That's how it feels to me, with added filler and added video packages and added product endorsement. That's, to me, how Raw feels. It feels like a 2-hour show that's been stretched to be 3 hours. That's the concept I think Raw is right now.
Well, the way I see this is that they are trying to add a few extra things in. Like we're seeing some other wrestlers who don't really get used in the odd occasional matches, and that is the thing that I wanted to see when we first made the video of this 3-hour Raw happening. I wanted to see other talent getting used. I wanted to see probably longer matches from wrestlers who deserve it. And yes, we're getting that, which I give them. Again, I'm not going to bash it completely because they have done stuff that we wanted to see. But then again, over the 3 hours, when they've given us what we wanted to see, they're thinking, right, we've given them that, now what do we give them? And this is where we say the writing comes in. They think, right, we're just going to add something completely out the blue, or stuff that they've seen probably in video packages throughout the night already.
Filler.
And then it comes to a point where we get our complaints from and we address it in our reviews.
It becomes filler, doesn't it, really? And then filler for us is basically boring, and we don't really care about it. We want a show that's full of storylines, that has multiply layered storylines. You know, we just want a show which can entertain us for 3 hours, and they could do it with 2 hours a lot easier because they had a lot less time to fill. And I think, to be honest, they don't have enough feuds and enough big characters to really keep interest in a full 2 hours, never mind a full 3 hours. And I think, like I said, it's just gone from a 2-hour show and it's expanded into a 3-hour show with video packages here, extra bits of filler there. It seems like filler is taking up the last hour with maybe a little bit more wrestling. Like, that wasn't really the case on the last Raw.
Well, we've had a few weeks. I'm not going to say this completely. There's been a few weeks in these last 5 shows where it was okay. It was to a standard where things weren't overly done, overly bad. But it's just a shame that it was just like the odd week or two, and then the last 3 weeks have been pretty much unable to keep up with the pace. So it's just a bit of a shame that they can do it some weeks, but not other weeks.
But that's the thing with me. It's like even when you have like a good hour, you still got another 2 hours there. So you still got another 2 hours in which they stretch it out. And even if it is a good show, it comes off worse because you've been watching it for 3 hours. A lot of these shows, if they were 2-hour shows, I feel, would have been a lot better because you're only watching it for 2 hours. It would have filled up the time a lot better. But because they've been 3 hours, they've come off a lot worse. And that is why a lot of people, especially in the internet wrestling community here, have generally been finding Raw boring and have generally bashed the fact that they've gone to 3 hours. And I will be one of those advocates. I think the decision to go 3 hours was totally fucking terrible, Vince.
Well, the thing I'm going to say about this 3 hours is even though they've gone 3 hours, it's not going to stop me watching wrestling. It's still something that's got me. Like I said, even though it's 3 hours, there's still aspects in those 3 hours that keeps me hooked, wanting to know more, wondering what's coming. And so I give it props that it's got some aspects that's working and it's keeping interested. So I'm going to be one of the fans that, even though I don't agree with what they're doing, I'm still going to stick by them.
It's got, I guess the best way of me putting it, it's got to the point where I am a wrestling fan and I do want to watch Raw, but I guess the best way I can put it now, it's starting to become a chore in a way, like watching Raw, and it's not really like something I naturally look forward to, if I'm really honest. I do like watching Raw, and I do enjoy watching Raw review and doing the reviews and everything, and that's all good, but I want to sit there and enjoy the show. I don't want to sit there and bash it every week, but I'm being forced to, because that's exactly what we're getting right now, really, in my opinion. That's just it.
That is true. Like with some aspect, we thought it weren't going to last long, but at the moment, which we're going to get to next, which is the ratings of what we've been given, it is going down. The WWE don't seem to realise how quickly it's going down. They're sticking to what they're giving us and not willing to change things that happen within the show.
As a businessman and as a graduate of Leicester University with a first honours in business and management, I love looking at stuff like this, the ratings and stuff like that. It's always been something that I enjoy doing. You'll probably see me doing it a lot on my channel. The ratings, right? If you can't argue with opinions and stuff like that, you can't argue with facts. And that is one thing that I think, we need to address it. You cannot argue with facts. Raw 1000, if we go through the ratings, Raw 1000 got a 3.86 rating. Fine. I mean, I thought that could have been higher with all the legends they have, but then you have Raw 1001. It got a 3.08 rating, therefore capitalizing on probably a quarter of the audience they have because they have none of the legends. Raw 1002 gets a 3.08 rating, and then Raw 1003, the go-home show to a big show like SummerSlam, you're thinking, damn, this is going to get a good rating. Gets a 2.84. Can we see a very steady, it goes from there to there, and it's going like that. So it's going down pretty damn quickly. That is fact. We have to acknowledge that is fact.
And that's a bit surprising because even though it was a going show for SummerSlam, you can't deny that the way they booked SummerSlam, the build to it,
was all right.
Weren't bad.
Yeah.
It did exactly what we wanted to see. We were looking forward to the matches. So I'm surprised that the ratings went down. But
it's the 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's the 3 hours, in my opinion. That's the only thing that can explain it. It was the 3 fucking hours. If we look, okay, if you want more proof that it is the 3 hours, let's look at the 2-hour time slot, shall we? Where it would have been before. Raw 1000, 4.03. That's gone up roughly 0.17 from the 3-hour show. Raw 1001 has a 3.23 rating in the 2-hour time slot, therefore going up from a 3.08 in the 3-hour time slot. The 2-hour time slot for Raw 1002 was 3.25 with a 3.08 3-hour time slot. Raw 1003 has a free rating in the 2-hour time slot with a 2.84 in the 3-hour time slot. What does that tell you? It tells you that some people aren't viewing in the first hour, and it also tells you with the ratings going down, especially even for a well-built show like SummerSlam, if you're getting a go-home show of 2.84. That's just terrible, especially going into a big show like SummerSlam where you expect big ratings. Like you go into WrestleMania, you expect big ratings.
Because the sad thing is, when they first went to the 3-hour show, I got a few messages from some people saying, oh, Raw's not starting for another hour. So I think even though it's shown live to us, people are not getting to see it begin for another hour. So I think that affects it. And I think they should just stuck to the 2-hour just so some parts of the world are not being an hour delayed.
But even after 4 weeks, even 4 weeks after Raw 1000, 3.84 in the ratings obviously shows people aren't watching the show necessarily, and it's going on a downslope, and that's bad for business, Vince. So if you look at the facts, you'll see this is bad for business, Vince McMahon, and I do hope to God that you go back to 2 hours as soon as possible because you fucking need it, brother. I would say that. 3-hour Raws, in my opinion, are just and. I'm sorry, that is just how I feel about the 3-hour Raws. Even the facts are telling me that too. And as a businessman, that's what I adhere to, generally, facts.
If I was to give my real opinion over 3 hours, yes, I'm not a great fan of it because it's giving me something I've been growing up watching and enjoying an extra hour longer. But when it comes to, yes, they give, within these 3 hours, they've given me a lot of what I wanted to see. But when it comes to trying to add extra things in, that's where they slip up. So if they can fix where they slip up, then maybe it'll be better. But right now, I think they could do exactly what they're doing, probably in that 2 and 15-minute show.
They really could. They could do this in 2 hours, 50 minutes. And I will say this, I really don't have confidence that WWE will even fix this, really, knowing how bad their 2-hour shows were as well at some points. And now they're translating to the 3-hour shows. You want my overall opinion on this, guys? I don't like these 3-hour Raws. It's almost like TNA used to do. It's almost putting me off watching Raw like every week now. There's the fact that I know I'm going to have to sit there and watch it for 3 hours, and there's a strong possibility that it probably won't come off that well because it's going for 3 damn hours, and it's so counterproductive, in my opinion, to have this show, a show 3 hours long. You know, the 3-hour Raws used to feel special. Now we're getting it every week, and it's overkill. It really is. 3 hours every damn week on Raw, and they can't fill the time up. I mean, and they have SmackDown as well. Why not go a step further and just combine Raw and SmackDown into one show? That might help, you know, especially with the lack of roster and talent and feuds really on the show and writing you have, really. Why not just combine the two, really? 3-hour show. Would you say that would be a good idea, or what?
Well, I still think they should keep the shows separate, but I think they really need to... when it comes to a point where it's been going for a couple of months, because I don't see it finishing anytime soon, they should really look at the past few months and then think, click, there's something wrong here. Let's go back and give that extra hour to another show.
Vince McMahon will have a very big business decision to make soon. No, not the WWE Network. Whether WWE stays 3 hours or goes back to 2 hours, I cannot help but feel that he will have to go back to 2 hours soon. I really can't feel. But upon reflection now, NJ, we did the video a couple of months back saying how we felt 3-hour Raws were going to go and what we felt WWE needed to do. Overall, just sum up, how do you think WWE have done with this whole 3-hour thing compared to how you thought they were going to possibly do it?
Well, like I said throughout the video, they are giving me more what I wanted to see, but it's that, even though they're giving me that, they're also adding extra in, so I'm getting what I want, but they're adding stuff that I don't want. So in a way, I'm happy, but then they're backfiring it back at me with the stuff I don't want to see.
Like I said, I was never a massive fan of this decision. I just think going 3 hours was a terrible decision by Vince McMahon, and I cannot get behind this one bit. And to be honest, the 3-hour Raw concept turned out exactly how I thought it would. The shows drag on a lot. It's a long time to watch. There is more filler in the show. The writing, the talent is not wide enough, and the characters just aren't good enough to really carry a 3-hour show. So in my opinion, it's going to go down the drain, much like WCW Nitro did, really. And they even had the talent and the roster and the writing, and they even had the characters in the action that could really carry a 3-hour show. And I don't see this being successful whatsoever. And I even have proof to back me up with the ratings going from what, 3.86 down to 3.08 in a week, and then to 2.84, which is one of the lowest rated Raws of the year. Really, go home show to a big pay-per-view. Damn. Anyway, you give us your thoughts. Do you think the 3-hour Raw is working? Down in the comment section below, you let us know if you think it's working. I'll hand you over now to NJ. Yeah, give us an outro, NJ.
All I can say, people, the beautiful people, is from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for tuning to this video. There'll be many more to come. So keep tuning in, keep liking our videos, keep subscribing above, keep leaving your comments in the comments below. Subscribe to our other YouTubes, our Twitters, and until next time, YouTubers, thank you very much, and goodbye.